Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people? Them, it's your boy Cam Topical Juice, and we are back with another video for y'all. As you can see from the title, AJ, Anthony Joshua, lost yesterday to Alexander Usyk, and he had a bit of an emotional meltdown after the fight, if I'm being honest. Now, I've got no problem with someone being emotional and raw and just speaking from the heart with kind of passion. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm not going to cuss AJ for that. But the content of what he said, he lost his head. He lost his head. And it's such a shame because he actually cried as well at the press conference. And I think because the reality kicked in that he never left his all in the ring. And he knows that. He knows that. He even answered the question. I think that was even one of the answers to one of the questions that were posed to him. I think he knows that he could have done more. But like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me. Of course, press that subscribe button for me. It's road to 50,000. Please help your boy get there. If you want to support your boy's merchandise, it's in the description below. So yeah, guys, I've just woken up because it was a late night. Before I talk about the post-fight meltdown, let's talk about the fight itself. Now, AJ unfortunately failed to leave it all on the line. He failed to go out entirely on his shield by committing fully. AJ wasn't busy enough in this fight. And one thing we know, AJ has no cardio. What do we know about this fight? AJ won this round 2 and 3, in my opinion, no doubt. Some people gave him round 1. I couldn't separate them in the first round. I thought it was a draw. But he certainly won rounds 2 and 3. And I thought to myself, AJ, this is great. You're actually holding the center of the ring. You're not dancing around too much. But he failed to capitalize on his ring position. This is what frustrates me about AJ. AJ was holding center ring, but how many times did you see him double jab? How many times did you see him triple jab? What he was doing a glorified version of what he did in the first fight. The first fight, he was just dancing around, being a heavy bag and getting caught. The second fight, he was holding the center ring. He wasn't dancing, but he still wasn't throwing his hands enough. He's in a great position, but he's not letting his hands go. Yeah, he let his hands go more than the first fight. He did. A few more double jabs, but not really. A few more body shots, but too late. AJ should have been feinting to the head, straight down the right hand, straight in the body. Hit his chest, hit the flesh, gain some confidence. Because Usyk's movement is too good. Footwork, too good. IQ, too high. He is a better boxer than AJ, and evidently he has his number. While I love the purity of the sweet science, Usyk is beatable. Fury washes Usyk, and I'm glad that Fury has come back for this fight, for that next fight. I'm glad that he posted a little story saying he'll be back and he ain't going nowhere because they're both shy. And I'm so glad Fury has saved boxing. Even though Fury is a complete hypocrite, he's a walking contradiction. All this guy knows is lying. Yeah, all Fury does is lie. At least we can all agree that he is the best heavyweight in the world, despite the fact he lies through his teeth about every single thing that comes out his mouth. At least he is the best boxing heavyweight in the world, and he cannot retire. If he retires, that is a big stain on his legacy, and I'm glad he's not retiring. Because Usyk wasn't all that tonight. While his footwork is amazing, while his head movement is amazing, it's amazing for AJ. But if AJ had better cardio, AJ beats him. I'm sorry, he does. He was beating him in the early rounds. But my biggest fear in the fight came true. I was thinking to myself, can AJ sustain this? And he just didn't. He didn't let his hands go enough. Not enough to the body, not enough doubling up the triple jab. The point is, when you fight Usyk, you will get hit. So the point is, you have to go in there, take some to give some. Go in there, high guard. Yeah, high guard, you know you're going to take some, you know you're going to take one bang or two, high guard, double jab, you might take one coming back, boom, straight down the middle. Yeah, follow that up with a left hand or something. He just didn't do it. And the irony is, he was getting banged anyway. So AJ's holding center ring, he's not throwing his hands, and he's still getting punched up anyway. So you might as well let your hands go and give Usyk something to think about, because what Usyk does so well is the fundamentals. His head movement is amazing. His footwork is amazing. Not only that, Every single time you throw something and he gets hit, he throws right back. He throws right back. That's one of the tricks in boxing is to not let your opponent get so comfortable. Because if you throw immediately after getting hit, that gives the opponent something to think about. He'll be thinking, shit, I got hit twice after throwing. Maybe I'm not going to throw. Maybe I'm going to be a bit more hesitant. Boxing is a game of chess. It is the most violent game of chess you'll come across. AJ just failed to capitalize on his attributes. He never imposed himself as the bigger man. Bivol versus Canelo. Prime example of how a good big man beats a great little man. Facts. AJ, trained correctly with a good cardio, beats Usyk. But unfortunately, as what's that famous saying, if my nan had wheels, she'd be a bike. AJ ain't that guy to beat Usyk. And I think the reality hit him in the aftermath. And that's what leads us on to the mental breakdown. Now, first things first, when I say mental breakdown, I don't mean the guy's fucking lost his head completely and he's now got off the rails and this and this. That's one thing. And two, I'm not going to push this narrative that this is the real AJ, okay? I've always known AJ is a big marketing corporate machine. And I've always disliked how he's 99% PR. Every interview, Beats by Dre, every Instagram post, Hugo Boss, JD Sports. He's just a walking marketing just brand. And it's really frustrating because yeah, it's great that he's getting the money. It was just too bright. It was just too corporate for me. I was missing that animalistic hunger from him. And people are now saying, Dylan White said it. AJ's just been fake. This is the real AJ. No, stop being so fickle, guys. Honestly, you lot are so casual boxing fans, yeah, are so fickle. It's crazy, yeah. He's not fake, and he hasn't been fake for whole 13 years of his career, has he? And this is just a chink in the armor. He's human. He's a human being, right? So this was a natural human response to a realization that he ain't as good as he thinks he is. That's what it is. That's basically what it is. And I'm not going to beat him up for having a passionate rant. You can have a passionate rant, but I'm not going to lie to you, yeah, it was cringy. And this is how you knew he lost his head. I don't really know why he threw the belts in the bin. He should have thrown the belts in the bin years ago. The belts have never meant shit. The belts have always controlled him. He should have taken control of his own destiny, yeah, and chucked the belts away ages ago. But he decided to chuck Usyk's belts away after. Wrong move. Don't know why he did that. It was weird. It was a weird move. He then storms out the stadium and then he comes back in, or he's about to storm out the stadium and he realizes, oh wait, I've got some PR to do. Let's not take it out on the fans. And then he goes and gives a speech. Now, what the hell is he talking about in this speech? A man's bringing up his jail days. A man's talking about how he went jail, how he bust case, starts bringing up his rah. Now, don't get me wrong. Real AJ fans know AJ's story, innit, where he's come from, but like the way he was saying it was just kind of like, it was just cringy, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was really, really cringy. And a man starts talking about Ukraine conflict. A man saying, he was like, whatever's going on out there in Ukraine is bad. I don't really know what's going on out there. I haven't really been following it, but I know it's bad. And like last time we fought, there was a conflict in Ukraine. Am I right? And then when Lomachenko fought, there was some political unrest in Ukraine, and these guys used their conflict for passion. And I was thinking, AJ, what? Someone grabbed the mic from this motherfucker because he's absolutely lost his head. He's lost his noggin. What's going on here? This guy starts hip hooraying for Usyk. He's saying, what a great champion, hip hooray, hip hooray. And I thought to myself, oh God, what is happening here? Like this is getting into embarrassing territories now. Now, am I going to criticize the man for having a passionate rant? No, because we're human beings. He just lost again after he's all into training. And this is why I have to question the mentality of AJ. When you look at his after fight press conference, he said he left it all in training. He really put his all in training, and I believe him. But why did he not leave it all in the ring? Why did he not go out on his shield in the ring? He'll watch that back thinking, I didn't throw my hands anywhere near enough. Yes, was there improvement in the first fight? Absolutely. I saw some uppercuts in the second fight for some reason, which he didn't throw one in the first fight. Was there improvement? Yes. Was it good enough? No. It wasn't good enough. His head, Usyk is better than him. Do you understand? He's got a better engine, better higher IQ, better head movement. Once AJ blows his cardio, he's done. He's absolutely finished. I don't understand. AJ against Carlos Takam, in the pocket, levering, throwing lever. Yeah? AJ against Joseph Parker, holding center of the ring. Yeah, he was boxing a lot more, but jab, spearing the jab in. Jab, 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 movement, jab. That's what he was doing against Joseph Parker. Yeah, Klitschko. Yeah, he was way more less inexperienced against Klitschko, but he dug deep. He got knocked down in the 4th or 5th round, had to hold on for a few rounds, and then he came back from adversity, knocked Klitschko out in the 11th round. I was there at that fight. I saw that with my own eyes. Yeah? And after that fight, something changed. And then ever since the Ruiz first fight, he just was never the same. He was never the same. He kept saying it again. He wanted to prove he could box. Fam, what are you? What are you trying to prove? No one wants to see that. AJ, no one wants to see you box. Brother, boy to boy, we don't give a fuck about watching you box. And boy to boy, you ain't that great at it. And I'm sorry, it is what it is. You would beat most heavyweights in the division, bar Fury, bar Usyk. In fact, you'd probably beat most of them. I still back you over Wilder, and I still back you over every single one else. You're the 3rd best heavyweight. But bro, you would be number 1 if you just did what you were supposed to do. If you just did what you were doing in the start of the career. Yeah, I know you're probably thinking, oh, I'm just an armchair fan and this, that, and the other. Nah, man. Nah. You were built to knock out dons. You weren't built to dance around and prove you can you prance and do fucking the samba and all that in the ring. We don't want to see you do the Macarena and all that in the ring. Yeah, we go to the club for dancing. Yeah, if we fam, I can watch Step It Up and Stomp the Yard on Netflix or whatever, bro. I ain't trying to pay for box office to watch you fucking dance, bro. If you want to dance, go join Diversity. Be a backup dancer for Beyonce. Ain't no one trying to watch that. We want to watch you impose yourself, assert yourself, and knock out guys. I felt sorry for him when he cried in that press conference, but that was the realization that he ain't as good as he thought he was, and he didn't leave it out all in the ring. That's the harsh reality. The harsh reality is Usyk was there for the taking in round 9, and Usyk was hurt, but because he blew his tank in round 9, Usyk just came out just peppering him again in round 10, 11, 12. It's shocking. It's really annoying. And one thing that is a fact, by the way, Usyk has no power. Absolutely no power. Zilch. Usyk weren't knocking people out in cruiserweight, and he ain't knocked anyone out in heavyweight. The only person he knocked out was Tony Bellew. Yeah, and Tony Bellew was probably winning that fight as well for most of the fight, which is quite interesting. So listen, Usyk, no power, no sting in the shots. Yeah, while he creates angles, he makes it very difficult for you. He ain't got no power. But the difficulty fighting Usyk, which casual fighters don't understand, is that Usyk's movement and head movement is so tiring on your mentality. You get mental fatigue fighting someone like Usyk. It is mentally draining watching someone come in and out of pocket, throwing feints, when you're watching someone do this, feinting and moving here for 12 rounds, you lot don't understand the mental fatigue. So when everyone says, oh, AJ's done, he should retire, shut up. Yeah, shut up, because while Usyk made him look silly, AJ beats the rest of the division hands down, besides Fury. Fury absolutely washes AJ. It really is such a shame, because AJ, with the right mentality, trained correctly, had the potential to be the best in history, arguably. You understand? But he will never ever reach that potential. At 32 years old, he's gone backwards in mentality. And that's the harsh reality of it. But the good thing is now, he has got no pressure. He has categorically lost 3 times now, twice to one of the pound for pound best, so it's not a thingy. But there's no pressure now. And I believe, I truly believe, give it 2 years and he will have a lot of the fan base on side again. Because a lot of boxing fans are extremely fickle, especially the casual fan. You're only as good as your last fight in the eyes of casual boxing fans. Once AJ beats whoever he fights next, maybe Hellenius or Wyatt again or Ruiz trilogy, once he beats whoever and then he beats Wilder or whatever, people will be straight back on the AJ train. But at the end of the day, AJ will never go down in the best as in his era, because he lost twice to the same person. He is categorically worse than Usyk. In his era, AJ was not the best heavyweight. And that's been proven now. So yeah, guys, honestly, I'm just so disappointed in AJ's performance. While I've got to give him credit for being so much better in this fight than the first, I wasn't impressed at all. He didn't let his hands go anywhere near enough. He didn't leave it out. He didn't leave it all in the ring. His cardio's absolutely shot. Every single time he blows his load, he's just blowing. Absolutely. He's never had no cardio. In the Vlad fight, he had to recover. In the Pulev fight, after missing a million times, having to recover. AJ's not a slow fighter, by the way. Usyk makes him look slow. While he was holding center of the ring, he just wasn't doing enough. He wasn't letting his hands go. It was just so frustrating. I was screaming at the TV, body shot. Double the jab, body shot. And he just wasn't doing it. And when he did do it, he had success. And when he started doing it, he was doing it towards the end. Round 10, he's throwing lever at his body. By then, it's too late. I just don't understand what he's doing in the gym to have no cardio. AJ's got no cardio. And he just had a complete cringy mental breakdown at the end of the fight. As I said, I'm not gonna call him. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, this is the real AJ." Fam, what do you lot know, bro? What do you lot know? People just saying this is the real AJ. I feel like you lot are actually categorically just haters in it. Now, I'm not a hater. I'm the most balanced person I know on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or one of the most balanced people I know actually in real life. So I can see so many different sides, and I can understand that AJ's human, he's emotional, he's pissed off, he's furious that this happened, so he's allowed an emotional response. It was just what had come from that, his emotional response, it was just cringy. Like, ain't no one trying to hear about you in jail and busting case and being on the roads. Bro, where was that hood street mentality in the ring? Yeah, where was that beef? Where was that hot-headedness, throwing the belt away, beefing civilians, beefing the media, beefing people, all this, that and the other, cussing out whoever? Where was that innate animalism or animalistic nature? Where was that in the ring? You were feeling sorry for yourself, knackered, blah, 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 talking about, I'm not Rocky Marciano, I'm 18 stone, I'm not built for cardio, I'm not built for this. So do like Mike Tyson and get him out of there in the first 6 rounds then. The one thing about the great Mike Tyson is while he had no cardio, he will give you a solid 5-6 rounds. He will give you, and if Mike Tyson don't get you out of there in 5-6 rounds, you've got a good chance of beating him. If you can survive beyond 5-6 rounds against Mike Tyson, you've got a great chance of beating him in the later rounds. You understand? Because what he does is he'll give you a few one bangs and in the latter stages, but then he'll just hug you for the rest of the round. He had no cardio. AJ, why couldn't you give us that like you did in your early part of the career when you were throwing leather? Go back and watch his early fights, guys. I'm a boxing fan. Yeah, go back and watch AJ's fights against Takam, against Wyatt, even against Joseph Parker. I mean, Joseph Parker, he was less inside fighting, but he was spearing that jab in. From Ruiz onwards, he was never the same. The Pulev fight was a poor performance. He should have got Pulev out of there by round 3. He got him out of there round 9. It was poor. Yeah, he did fuck all for the first, for round 4 to 7, I think, 4 to 8, 4 to 9. I'm really disappointed in AJ, but I believe he's got a long career after this. He can still fight for another 3 more years. And now he's got absolutely no pressure. He can just go and enjoy himself. But yeah, the whole AJ kind of fan base, the whole AJ train, the whole AJ being the poster boy for the UK, we've witnessed the end of AJ. AJ peaked from 2015 to 2017. He ain't the same guy no more. And that's very, very, very hard. That's very sad for me to admit, considering I've been a fan since 2009. But, you know, it is what it is. And he was, yeah, unfortunately, he's not the person that I hoped he was going to be in it. But it is what it is. But big up Usyk. I'd like to see the Usyk-Fury fight. I think Fury washes both of them. Usyk ain't all that. Now don't get me wrong, he's a pound for pound great, and his movement is at heavyweight is elite. His head movement, everything about him is elite. But Fury, too big. Fury, too big. He'll actually use his weight to like really cause Usyk problems. AJ was there for the taking to be knocked out tonight, and Usyk failed to do that. And Usyk tonight was there for the taking, but AJ didn't have the cardio. AJ was the bigger man in there, and when he was imposing himself, it was working. But Usyk, too much cardio, too much IQ, and AJ just simply ain't good enough for Usyk. But Fury beats Usyk 100%. Fury beats AJ 100%, and that's literally it. I don't really know why Fury was so shook beforehand, but yeah, I want to see that fight in December. I want to see them unify, and we'll go from there. But yeah, man, I want to see AJ fight Wilder next. That'll be a great fight. Given that Wilder fight's hilarious, I'd love to see AJ fight Wilder. And we go from there. Like or subscribe, let me know your thoughts. Peace.